You are in the basic computer skills for programmers section at Open School, and in this series we are discussing HTML tags for beginners under the website development tutorials section. In this video we'll talk about how to refresh a web page to see the changes that you make to the HTML code. When you are building a web page, you have to continuously make changes to the HTML code and see the output inside the browser. So how you can do that, this is what we'll be discussing in this video. There are basically three ways in which you can refresh your web page in the browser to see the output. Remember that every time you do not have to double click on the file and open it in the browser. Otherwise, either you will end up opening multiple browser windows or you will end up opening multiple tabs in the same browser window. So that is not what you're supposed to do. You can simply open one browser and one tab inside that browser, and you can keep refreshing the web page to see the changes. So there are basically three ways in which you can refresh your web page. The first way is to select the URL of the web page and press the enter key. This is the first way in which you can refresh the page to see the output. Let's see how this technique works. So let me first open the HTML code, a very basic HTML code, and let me make changes to this HTML code. So right now in this HTML code, you notice that I have written hello world string inside the bold tag. I will make changes to this string and I will write by world exclamation, and I will save this page. So I made changes to the HTML code and I have saved this page. Now I want to see the changes in the browser. So let me open the browser and notice that in this browser the output of the previous HTML code is being displayed. Now because I have made changes to the HTML code, I want to see the changes in the browser. So the first way is to select the URL. URL is inside this address bar. So I will simply click on this URL here in the address bar and I will press the enter key. Now when I press the enter key, notice that the change that I made to the HTML code has been reflected in this browser window. So I have refreshed the page to see the changes I made in the HTML code. So this is the first way in which you can see the changes of your HTML code. Now the second way is to press the F5 key from the keyboard, and when you press the F5 key, you are telling the browser to refresh the web page. This is probably the most common way in which people refresh, in which programmers refresh the web page to see the output. So let me open the HTML code again and let me make changes to this code. So let me write hello world and save this web page. So I made changes and I have saved those changes. Let me open the Firefox browser and I will simply press F5 key from the keyboard. You can also click on the refresh button in the browser and it will refresh the page. So clicking the refresh button or pressing F5 from the keyboard both have the same effect. So let me press F5 from the keyboard, and when I press F5, notice that the browser has refreshed the page and you can see the change that we made to the page. So we wrote hello world and that is what you notice now in the browser. So this is the second way in which you can refresh your page to see the changes that you make to the HTML code. The third way in which you can refresh the web page to see the changes is to press the control key and then press the F5 key. Now there is a difference in pressing the F5 key alone and pressing the control and the F5 key. When you press control plus F5, you are telling the browser to reload the full page again. So you are telling the browser to reload all the images, all the JavaScript files, all the CSS files, everything related to that page. You want the browser to reload everything. When you press F5 alone, browser will not reload the images or the JavaScript file or the CSS files. It will only reload the HTML of your page and show you the output. So if you want the browser to reload everything related to the page, then you should press Ctrl and F5. So press the Ctrl key and press the F5 key. So if I open the HTML code again and I make changes to this code and save this page, and I open the browser again, and if I press Ctrl and F5, you will notice that the output has now changed and the browser has shown us the changes that we made to the HTML code. So these are the three ways in which you can actually refresh the browser to see the changes to your HTML code. My recommendation is that you should always follow the Ctrl plus F5 method to refresh the page, because as a programmer, when you are developing a web page, you tend to make changes to the HTML code also, to images also, to JavaScript files also, to CSS files also. So if you press Ctrl and F5, you are telling the browser to reload everything related to that page. So these are the three ways which you can use to refresh the page and see the output and see the changes which you are making to the HTML code. With this, we'll end this tutorial here. In the next tutorials, we'll learn more concepts related to the HTML tags. I'll see you in the next videos.